Hi, my name is Kylie Blacksell and I'm from Human Happiness, and welcome to your third video tutorial in the video tutorial series, the definitive health, wealth and happiness system, which is the Ho'oponopono system that was recently modernised, and I've been able to structure so that it's useful and doable by anyone, anywhere, at any time, which I'm elaborating more about in these videos. So this particular video is about happiness. What is happiness? I suppose that's a pretty good question for me, coming from Human Happiness. And you know, what does that look like exactly? Happiness is freedom from attachment. Okay, so when you attach to something, that's what causes you distress, that's what causes you upset, that's what causes you pain, anger, fear, and all of the rest of the negative emotions. And to be able to remove yourself from the attachments, you need to remove yourself from remove the programs from you, which is actually what Ho'oponopono does. Okay, so these programs are from your childhood, from your adolescence, from your young adulthood. They can also be from your past life. Okay, so, and definitely from past life. If you have a lot of karmic energy in your numerology chart, that would actually indicate that you do have quite a bit of past life programs as well that you need to work through. And finally, after the programs being removed, is coming back to zero. So coming back to a place where there is zero attachment, when there is nothing. There is nothing bothering you. There is nothing that you're reacting to. There is nothing that you need to do, be, say that is going to make you feel any better. Okay, you're in a place of bliss, and that's the idea of the Ho'oponopono. Always coming back to zero programs, zero upset, zero anger. And so just giving you a little bit of feedback on what that looked like for me before doing this work, particularly before doing the Drew Yoga teacher training program, the Reiki training program, becoming a Reiki master, but definitely more so and exponentially so since regularly giving people Ho'oponopono. I'm talking every day, every second day over the last 6 months. I used to have very stressful and very frightening relationships with quite a few different people, a couple in particular that were very, very stressful. You know, some of them, well, two of them in particular, I couldn't exactly walk away from because they were family. They were people that were always going to be in my life. To some level, if I chose to have them in my life, or I could have made life very difficult for other people if I didn't want to have them in my life. And so of course it was in my best interest to try to make it work, basically. And I'm talking fear, like fear if they rang, fear if they came to see me, fear they were going to you know, verbally attack me, abuse me, make me cry, make me feel really, really unsafe, make me feel guilty, lots and lots of things like that with these particular people. I also had you know, physically abusive relationships, yeah, and on different levels as well. But it was more so for me, it was more the emotional abuse and psychological abuse that I was receiving from these people, and a lot of manipulation, a lot of disempowering situations where I was basically cowering and giving my power to those people. So there was a lot of those going on. I'm very, very pleased to say that the two main relationships that were quite challenging for me have been healed to the point where I can have a very good functional and healthy relationship with those two people. And a lot of the dysfunctional ones have completely dissipated, and I don't have any contact with those people anymore. I wouldn't want to have any contact with those people anymore. I used to have a petrifying fear of expressing myself, and again with these two people in particular, but it was at work as well. It was pretty much everywhere. With one of these people, I'd write an email to ask something or explain something, and I spend days drafting, checking, rechecking, maybe asking a friend, maybe asking my counsellor, what do you think? Should I do something different here? Is there a better way for me to write this? And then I'd send it thinking I'd done the right thing, and of course it'd blow up in my face. The person would take offence, and it'd just go down the toilet basically and make the situation worse than what it was before. And that was out of fear of basically being misunderstood, of upsetting somebody, of causing that person to be angry, because I had this massive fear of creating anger in that other person. So I've lifted all of that. I've lifted that to the point where I can write an email now, obviously showing sensitivity and compassion, but I don't have to draft it, I don't have to think about it. I do give the 24-hour rule. I think that's a very good idea, particularly in relationships with people where it has been very, very difficult in the past. What I mean by that is you write it one day, sleep on it, go back, read it the next day, okay, then send it. All right, that's just courtesy as far as I'm concerned, coming in from a different point of view before you send the email. But being able to send it from a place of love, from a place of compassion, and not really being too concerned that it's going to be received poorly. Because of course, if you fear it being received poorly, it's obviously going to be received poorly because your fears manifest your reality. What you fear the most will actually be what happens because you're so afraid of it. So now I definitely have this freedom of heart expression and come from a place of sensitivity and compassion, and that's definitely shifted, tenfold in the last 6 months. As I said, the Reiki and the yoga definitely helped, but my capacity to just express how I feel, even with my clients, because it takes a lot of courage to sit there in front of someone who was a complete stranger maybe 4 hours ago, 4 hours of face-to-face talking ago, and then say to them, this is what's going on, this is what your thing is, this is what you're afraid of, and this is what you're doing that you don't realise you're doing, without fear of a repercussion. And every counsellor, whether they want to admit it or not, anyone who does any kind of counselling or any type of healing therapy work or any type of light therapy work, any type of healing modality has a history, okay? And they're going to attract someone who they fear might attack them in the same way that they have from that history. But when you move through that and you do the Ho'oponopono, that fear goes away. Okay, you'll still have to speak in a compassionate and understanding and considerate manner, of course, and be careful about what you say and show professionalism in that sense. But that fear, it really does go away because you're not attracting it anymore. Okay. And I also had relationships where I was constantly compromised, stuck, trapped, fearful and miserable. And I definitely have a place of freedom and happiness now, and contentment and gratitude. I felt very, very, very stuck. Couldn't move forward with what I needed to achieve in these relationships, what I needed to get through, to get to the next step. There was this dependency in the relationship. I needed them to do something so that I could move forward or help other people that were sort of associated with us in our relationship. And it was very, very stuck, and I felt very compromised. I felt very disempowered and very, very, very alone in the situation as well. But as soon as I let go, and as soon as I really found that freedom and completely let go of the need to actually have this kind of relationship going on, that's when the relationship disappeared. Of course, you can do this through other modalities, but this is the most powerful and most definitive one that I have ever come across, and I use it all the time now. It's an integral part of my healing therapy. So I hope that's helped you to understand what happiness can look like. Really, it is coming to that place of zero. So it's coming to a place where you're happy. You're able to look around and see stuff. You can see a kid playing, you can actually smile. You can be present in the present moment. And of course your health and wealth can increase as well, as I've said in the previous video. But things don't bother you anymore, and you can look at people from a place of love and compassion rather than from a place of fear and anger. So I do hope you found that helpful. Please do give me your feedback if you have any questions, any things you'd like to share about your happiness or your path to happiness, or what your happiness might look like, or maybe what relationships you're having that are really causing you challenges. Or of course, if you'd like to book in a healing therapy session so you can actually work through this stuff with me, you're quite welcome to do that as well. You can contact me on the YouTube channel through humanhappiness.com.au. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.